Welcome to the 10 Commandment Series. This is part 10. Feel free to circle back and watch parts 1 through 9. We are going to wrap up this series with the 10th commandment. Exodus chapter 20 verse 17 says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's." We are going to break down the word covet. Covet is the Paleo-Hebrew word chamad. Chamad means to desire, covet, take pleasure in, delight in, to be desirable, to delight greatly, desire greatly. It means to be desirable, and it also means preciousness. Okay? It also means desirableness. Okay? And some of the ways it's used is desire, covet, delight, pleasant, beauty, lust, delectable things. So we have to slow down and understand a couple of things. The traditional approach for this commandment has been to look at it like this: you shall not covet. But he's telling you what to not have a desire towards and what not to lust after, okay? So for example, when we back up on that verse, he says, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. That word house means family in Hebrew. So don't have a desire for your neighbor's house or your neighbor's family. Look at the next piece. Don't have a desire for your neighbor's wife. Don't have a desire for your neighbor's male servant. Don't have a desire for your neighbor's female servant. Don't have a desire for his ox. Don't have a desire for his donkey. Don't have a desire for anything that is your neighbor's. So covet in the wrong sense can mean lust and desiring after what is forbidden. Healthy and right desire is desire for Yah and his commandments, the desire to want to be obedient to him. Let's look at the right type of desire, then we will look at the wrong type of desire. The right type of desire is found in Psalm 19 verses 8 through 10. The statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired, hamad. That's the word hamad right there, which you see in Exodus 20 as covet. Let's look at verse 10 again. More to be desired are they than gold. Yeah, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. So what he's saying here is when it comes to the fear of Yahweh, when it comes to Yahweh's commandments, the fear of Yahweh is clean. It's enduring forever. And then he says the judgments of Yahweh are true and righteous. And he says his judgments are more to be desired are they than gold. See that? That's the right type of desire. Desiring Yahweh, fearing him, his commandments, that's the right type of desire. So that's why I say it's not just the general approach of using the word covet itself. Let's look at the wrong type of desire. Genesis chapter 3, verse 6 and 7. This is the account of Adam and Eve in the garden. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree desirable to make one wise. That word desirable right there is the same word you see for covet in Exodus 20, chamad. And a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. See that? She desired what Yahweh had forbidden them to eat. She desired what Yahweh told her not to do. So this is why we have to understand how to place these desires in their proper context. So then Adam and Eve became naked. They became uncovered. What does uncovered look like? Let's look at that word uncovered right there. Let's look at some cause and effect. Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 47. Because you did not serve Yahweh your Elohim with joy and gladness of heart for the abundance of everything, therefore you shall serve your enemies whom Yahweh will send against you in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness. That's that same word naked in Genesis chapter 3. Nakedness and in need of everything. And he will put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. They were in slavery several times throughout history. Yah's people throughout history, over and over and over. And right here it says, Yahweh was covering and protecting them as long as they obeyed his commandments. Once you desire to do the things that he's told you not to do, you become naked. You become uncovered. This is why the people of the book have continued to go into slavery. And the signs of the people in the book, if you read some of the curses in Deuteronomy 28, and if you just look at the different parts of scripture in the law and in the prophets talk about the children of Israel going into captivity also. So for a person to have a thought that worldwide slavery and worldwide colonization to a targeted group of people who have a bloodline connection to being a descendant of Israel, also known as Jacob, to think that that is just a coincidence. I just pray that Yah has mercy on your soul, because it's not a coincidence. Scripture and historical evidence and DNA all validated. So let's jump back to Genesis 3. After Adam and Eve do what Yah had commanded them not to do, after they eat of the fruit. Genesis 3 verse 9. Then Yahweh Elohim called to Adam and said to him, "Where are you?" So he said, "I heard your voice in the garden and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself." And he said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat?" Look at the connection. Adam's reply was, "I was afraid. I was naked, so I hid myself." Then Yahweh's reply was, "Who told you you were naked? Did you do what I commanded you not to do?" So when you do what Yahweh commands you not to do, you are naked, uncovered. Yahweh had forbidden them to do that. The emphasis is on you desiring to do the things that Yahweh has told you not to do. This is why Yahweh also told his children not to covet each other's things, nor covet their family members, or anything that is their neighbor's. If you can't handle the natural forbidden desires towards your neighbor, you won't respect Yah's commands, and you'll desire the things that he tells you not to do in any aspect of his word. Take idolatry, for example. Idolatry also has to do with a desire to go after false gods, even though Yahweh forbids it. He said, don't have any other gods before him. But people do it anyway. It's a forbidden desire. Let's go to Romans 7. Let's look at verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Certainly not. Is the law sin? Certainly not. Is the law sin? Certainly not. On the contrary, I would not have known sin except through the law. For I would not have known covetousness. That word covetousness also means lust. For I would have not known covetousness unless the law had said, you shall not covet. All right, so let's see how Paul addresses this in 1 Corinthians, so we can bring some context to his teachings that people love to twist. 1 Corinthians 5, look at verse 9. I wrote to you in my epistle not to keep company with sexually immoral people. Yet I certainly did not mean with the sexually immoral people of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or idolaters, since then you would need to go out of the world. He's making a distinction here. He's talking to those that are assembled in the truth. But now I have written to you not to keep company with anyone named a brother. See, there it is. Who is sexually immoral, or covetous, or an idolater, or a reviler, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, not even to eat with such a person. For what have I to do with judging those also who are outside? See, there's a difference between those who are outside and those who are inside. Those who are inside, they keep Yahweh's commands. They obey Yahweh's Torah. For what have I to do with judging those who are outside? Do you not judge those who are inside? But those who are outside, Elohim judges. Therefore, put away from yourselves the evil person. They were to judge inside and put the evil person away. Look at chapter 6, verse 1. Let's keep going. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unrighteous and not before the saints? Another distinction. The unrighteous versus the saints. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9. Do you not know that the unrighteous, those outside, the opposite of the saints, do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of Elohim? Do not be deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor homosexuals, nor sodomites, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor covetous, nor covetous, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners will inherit the kingdom of Elohim. James 4, verse 1. Where do wars and fights come from among you? Do they not come from your desires for pleasure that war in your members? Same language here. Look what he says next. You lust and do not have. That word lust right there is covet. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Adulterers and adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with Elohim? He's calling them adulterers and adulteresses because they are cheating on Yahweh by violating his commandments. That is one of the implications of what adultery is. Whoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of Elohim. Proverbs 6:23, for the commandment is a lamp and the law a light. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart. See? Nor let her allure you with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. Let's look at Micah 2, starting at verse 1. Woe to those who devise iniquity and work out evil on their beds. At morning they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. They covet fields and take them by violence, also houses, and seize them. So they oppress a man and his house, a man and his inheritance. See that? This is what coveting looks like when it's wrongful desire. Now let's look at some dialogue here in Acts 20, verse 32. So now, brethren, I commend you to Elohim and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and give you an inheritance among all those who are sanctified. See that? I have coveted no one's silver or gold or apparel. Yes, you yourselves know that these hands have provided for my necessities and for those who were with me. I have shown you in every way by laboring like this that you must support the weak, and remember the words of Adoniah Yahawashai, that he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. See that? He made it very clear. He said, look, I wasn't coveting after nobody's stuff. This is after the Messiah was raised from the dead. They still follow these commandments. In the context of the 10th commandment, if Yah tells you don't have a desire for something and you still pursue it, that's going against what he commands. The 10th commandment, Exodus 20, verse 17, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. This concludes the 10 Commandment series. All praises to Yahweh. Until next time.